I'm here with Congresswoman Bernice Johnson, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Donna Edwards from Maryland, and Congresswoman Coreen Brown from Florida. And just a couple of questions. Congresswoman Johnson, during the beginning of your presentation, you got really emotional at one point. I mean, it really showed how serious you are and how much this means to you to try to foster peace, not only here in America, but internationally. I mean, talk to me about hopefully the people here at this session that spoke, the people that were here, how possibly maybe you could put the pieces together and maybe gain even more momentum toward actually fostering peace.
Just as important to build peace networks here as anywhere else in the world, because we are part of the world that people look to. If they don't see peaceful means and peace among each other, as one of the spokespeople today spoke about, sometimes the falseness of America and how some things that we do will not foster peace around the world, not even among ourselves. So it's the awareness and the dialogue and the consciously thinking about creating avenues and an atmosphere for peace.
Great. Congresswoman Lee and the others, I know that you're supporting Congresswoman Johnson and her efforts, but you all have kind of like maybe your own agendas for peace too. What do you try to do in your own districts to support, to complement what Congresswoman Johnson's trying to do? Ms. Lee?
Well, first I'd like to say that Congresswoman Johnson not only talks the talk, but she walks the walk. And as she has hosted this peace conference in Dallas, it should be well known that she hosts as well an impressive gathering of women in Washington, D.C. And many of us as members of Congress have had that opportunity, but with her guidance, we have special emphasis. And I chair the Congressional Children's Caucus. And I heard Congressman Johnson mention child soldiers. That's one of the issues that I think are enormously important. And what happens when you don't have peace, you see children around the world fighting wars. Lastly, in focusing on children, you look to places in the world where there are conflicts, like North Korea in terms of the treatment of the people, Southern Sudan now in conflict, and Sudan, Afghanistan, Iraq. Women and children have the most burden. So the Congressional Children's Caucus is concerned when there's a humanitarian crisis and there is no peace, that the burden is carried on women and children. Congresswoman Johnson has led on those issues, and I have been delighted to join in with her and even to write legislation dealing with child soldiers. So I think the idea is to take her message and to be able to work with women in our communities.
Great. Congresswoman Edwards or Brown, Ms. Brown, anything?
Thank you. I'm Congresswoman Donna Edwards from Maryland, and I'm really actually delighted to be here with Congresswoman Johnson and to share in her work for peace. I've had the opportunity, even in my short time in Congress, to learn from Congresswoman Johnson, to travel with her internationally as she's gathered women for peace. I traveled recently with the Congresswoman to Israel, where we talked to women on the West Bank and in Israel about the need for women to participate in peace. I co-chair our Afghan Women's Task Force in the Congress and serve on our Human Rights Commission. And what I've learned from Congresswoman Johnson is that women have to be at the center of the dialogue to establish peace. And I'm looking forward to continuing the same work in my congressional district in Maryland.
Excellent. And Congresswoman Brown?
Well, first of all, I'm just happy to be here with my colleague, Congresswoman Bernice Johnson, who also is my classmate. We were elected together in 1992. Let me just say, we've traveled around the world many times, and as I said earlier, I'm on transportation, and we travel, and we're going for various reasons, whether it's port security, airport security, or science. But Congresswoman Johnson, part of that mission, we always gather the women from the various villages and areas to come and talk about peace. But let me just also say that peace starts right here in the United States. I represent Sanford, Florida, and the hardest thing for me to do was to talk to that mother about her son being killed under the Stanier grounds. So although we've got to work for peace around the world, it starts right here in the United States of America and in our districts, working to make sure that the criminal justice system here is fair and that what we expound around the world exists right here in the United States of America.
Very well said. All right, I want to thank all of you for joining us, and I wish you all well in your quest for peace. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.